Welcome all around the world to another Lord Fish Blender video. And today we're going to start another kitchen series, but we're going to just try to do things different than we normally do, because that's what we do. So I'll start off by probably sizing everything if you're using Unreal. As you know, I don't use other engines, so I don't know what the sizes are in there. Do what you know is best. Alright, and we're sized. So start off by making some kitchen pieces, some counter pieces. Oops, we're probably going to want to scale it. Go to your scaler. Normally I got to wear a headset when I'm making a video. Does this ever feel weird? Alright. I'm going to take this second piece, move it up, and make it really thin. And this is going to be the top of our counter. Oops. Just make sure you don't flip them. Okay, something like that. And then we're going to go a little fatter. And we're going to just shuffle it forward and try to line it up with the back. Okay, maybe one a little fatter. Let's do them together. Okay, it should keep in line while you're doing it now. So we got a regular counter piece. You're probably not going to just want a regular counter piece. You're probably going to want drawers, those types of things. So maybe we'll first of all we'll just make a blank like this. And it's just one extra one in case we want to do something else with it. We can keep them exactly in the same proportions, basically. Just a little cheat we can do. I'm going to copy that shape with Shift D down there. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Getting it off to one side. I'm going to try to guess at about half of the cupboard. Something like this. Now, since we used our axes, this line down here, we can Shift D. And we'll go over here. I'll find out which that is. Okay. We'll just remove the minus from it. And we'll see if it's too big. It probably is, but we'll just see. And yes, it's much too big. So delete this one. And we're going to have to shrink this one. Let's go like that. We'll shuffle it over a little bit like that. We'll Shift D it again. I think it was this one. Alright, and that looks pretty good, and it's absolutely symmetrical. We know that. Well, let's back these up a little bit. Let's back their little butts back. How deep do you want your cupboards? Maybe you want it to be deeper than that. Maybe you want the whole inside to be hollow and there not to be walls on the insides. That's up to you. We just need to take a cube after and line it up on the inside and get rid of the outsides. But I think that's going to be good for me. But before I do this, before I take the shape out, we're going to Shift D it again. And we're just going to move these forward because those are going to become our doors, hopefully, with any luck. So we'll take these two and we'll minus it from the shape. We'll go down to Bool Tool and we'll go to Difference. Okay. Nice and easy, no big deal. So now that we've done that, we're going to take these ones, we're going to shrink them down this way. We may have to destroy one and like kind of reprint them, but we'll see what happens. Something like that. Now we're going to have to be a bit bigger to cover up the holes, basically. We'll see if that lines up, and if not, we're going to have to destroy one and place the other by hand. It actually does line up just perfectly. I don't see any gaps. If the same thing happened for you, perfect. Now, maybe you want to put a little bit of shape on these, which we can do, or we cannot do. It's completely up to you depending on the look you're going to go for. But what I would do, actually let's get out of mode. We'll grab this one and just delete it. We're just going to replace the other one with this one just to make it easier. Remember, these are cupboards, so you may want to make a hinge for it. That's up to you again. I'm probably not going to make it opening doors. You know what, man? Let's do opening doors. I'll do hinges. That's fine. But let's first shape it. So grab all 4 of these edges. I already grabbed that one. Shift grab this one, and we're in edit mode. I push tab to get there. And then control B. And then I'm going to go over to bevel. Just adjust our bevel to whatever level you want. I'm going to do 6 because that's just what I do. And then I undid, and I'm just going to redo like that. Let's just check something. Let's tab and move it in and make sure it still covers all the gaps. Okay. So maybe that's the look you want to your drawers. Maybe it's not. Up to you. But we're going to go a little farther than that this time. Let's take it, move it out. And we will grab the face this time, and let's see if we can give it some kind of cool design. I'm not sure what we're going to do, so bear with me. Maybe we'll do that. And then we will go E, and we'll just move it in just a hair, like that. And then we'll go I again. Oh, we can't. Okay. Can't really do too much at this point. Let's try this. We'll stop there before we get any breaks. It still looks good. Make sure yours does. We're just going to take that and drag it out like this. Okay, try to make it even. Maybe you can go a little bit past. Maybe you can go a little bit before. And there we go. We got a pretty designed little cupboard door now. Our next step, probably be putting a handle on the door, and then we should be done with the door. If you want to do it different again, if you leave it a square, it'd probably be a little bit easier to work on the inside, but because we made a rounded edge, it kind of makes it harder. Another thing we could have done is taken the whole face and just beveled it, but I don't know if that would have been better. I feel like this is the best design, but you guys do you. If you think you got something better, you do that. Alright, so we'll make a handle real quick. We'll take this sucker right here, do a 90. Oh, I got it off its axis. Sorry, I always try to keep them right on their axis. It's just easy to shuffle around. Cupboard handle, where do you want it to be? I would imagine, being a cupboard handle, that we would be up and probably over here, but I don't know for sure. Maybe go look at your cupboards and make sure. I'm just going to go with what looks good. You know what, let's go in the middle. I don't know if that's exactly the middle though. There's no way to tell unless we shuffle the whole drawer back to 0. I'm not going to do that, so we'll just hand bomb it. Make it a little smaller, make it a little smaller, make it a little smaller. Make sure it's still in the face of that. Shift D when you're done. Boost that out. And we're going to hit S. And then we're going to shrink it this way. Something like that. And if you want it to be a little different, you can shrink one face or the other. You can make this one bigger, make the other one smaller. All up to you. I'm going to go like that. I think that's good enough for what I want. Make sure it's not sticking out the other side of the door or anything like that. And if it's exactly where you want it and everything else, and it looks exactly how you want it, go ahead and Control J. So I I left click and then I shift left click to grab the second. I'll give you an example. Left click, shift left click, and then Control J. We've made them one. So now that's one drawer. Okay. So we can go back. Something like that. Make sure all your holes are still covered. Looks pretty good to me. Now let's try to figure out how to make some sort of hinge for this, just to give it a better look if we can. So I just boosted it out just a hair. Just wanted to make sure the whole time that we haven't made a mistake that we can't recover from. So always making sure that your drawer fits and things like that is pretty important. As you can see right there, there's a tiny gap. Oh, is it because I'm away from it though? Oh, just the tiniest gap. Let's just adjust it the tiniest amount, like that. I think we're going to be okay because our hole size, we're definitely covering them. Make sure all your holes are covered by your drawer, otherwise there's not going to be much point in having one, right? Okay, so that looks good to me. Got our new cube. We're going to make a hinge out of it. All right. Let's get it out here before it disappears on us. S, and we'll take way down. And let's give it some sort of different shape. A hingy type shape. Not really sure, but we'll make something up. Because we're very creative people. Something like that, maybe. We'll go to edges. And I'll do Control B. Round it like that. And I think that's a pretty fair little hinge looking thing. We'll just flatten it right out. Now if you want to put screws in it, that's up to you. What else can we do to make that more? Okay, yeah, I know what to do. I'm going to take a cylinder and we're going to leave it out like that. We're going to hit S, shrink her right down. Shrink it down more, something like that. Just sit the edge of it in there, like so. And we're going to do one of these. That's going to be our hinge. Make sure it's perfectly in the middle. Maybe we'll do a bit of trickery. Okay, let's take Shift D again. I'm going to take this guy. I got it off its axis, sorry about that. You always just right click to cancel movement if you make a mistake. And we have not flipped it, so let's do a 90 now. If you want to do screws, you can. You're just definitely really easy. I would just make probably just a screw head here, so it looks like a screw head. If you really want, you can put a bevel, or sorry, a bowl in there and put a hole right through and all that stuff, but I really don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference unless it's some kind of construction game where you're actually building the kitchen, then I guess it would there. So let's just take that shape again, we'll Shift D it. And we're gonna just move it halfway through the piece. And just gonna go like this. And like that. And that should do it. And we'll grab the second one with Shift left click, object, bool, difference. And there's your screw head. And if you want, you can take that shape out of this, or you can just copy it, Shift D, and move it down. And that's what I would do if you're going for that look of you actually want the screws to be seen. There you go. Thought I'd add it in for you anyways. Just like that, then Control J. Since this piece has never been flipped up or down, our control point is now straight up and down, so if we have to move everything, it should move with everything, no problem. Okay, and then it's just a matter of size of your hinges. That looks like the screws are hanging out on the side to me. Maybe you want it a little bit smaller, so just S it down until you're happy with the size of it. Make sure you're in there. Maybe we'll just take it, put it on this. Okay, maybe we'll go down a little bit. The cupboard door should be in the middle of the up and down axis, so we could probably go ahead. Let's see, just one second. Just want to make sure I can see my screws, because we put screws in there. So like that, make sure you're attached to the actual piece of wood back here. Okay, and then we should be able to Shift D. And I think it'd be this one, we put a minus. And we can't attach these yet, well, we can in a minute, but we're going to have to do something first. We're going to have to do the other side for we don't mess ourselves up from not being able to put the hinges on the other side as well. So we're going to Shift D that. We're going to do this. And that should take that one over. Do this one too. Okay, so now there's one on each side, and then we're going to take these and do a 180. Make sure our screw heads are on the right side still. Nope. So that's not going to be our right one. Maybe we'll do it here. There we go. I think that's going to be right. We'll see when we flip our cupboard around, but okay. And now we have our hinges on both sides. We have our handles. We're pretty much set, but let's take this drawer or this drawer cover and let's put it on the other side for we can attach the hinges on that side. You may want to take some of the hinges and just set them off to the side, and you might want to take just a face of the door and set them off to the side in case something happens where you need to change it, or if you want to use it in a different model or as an asset for later for other drawers or things like that. Then you can quickly just import your old hinges and handles or faces for your drawers and make a new set if you want. So I got that copied, I believe. Yes. So we'll just take this and get rid of the minus, and we should be lined up. It looks like we are. We're just out from it. So let's take our hinges, and we're going to attach them to this one. Control J. And then we're going to take this, and we're going to shift left click this, and we're going to shift left click this, and then we're going to go Shift D. And this is our extra. We're going to just drag off to the side in case we need them for anything else. We still have a drawer, we still have a hinge. They're all in their original axis. And that way, if there's a problem, it won't be hard to fix. Remake the whole thing if we need to at this point. Okay, so take those, we'll attach it to that. And again, that's left click, shift left click, Control J. Now both drawers should be our control points, and we'll just take one and line it up, and it should line up both. There you go. Pretty good. And we have a pretty good first cupboard or kitchen counter unit. We're just going to do one more thing, and then we'll come back in the next episode and start doing some more in-depth things, some kitchen items, maybe some upper cupboards, and then it'll be good we kept our doors and our hinges and our extra slot, because we can literally just take the top off this and make this thing into a, oh geez, you know what, did we already attach these? Yeah, we did. Let's just go back if we can. 1 second. I wanted to take one last thing before we attach them. Did we attach them? No, we didn't. Hang on, just, oh, okay, fine. Gotta drag these back up by hand. Right there, I think. Okay, perfect. So I just want to take this one back here and Shift D it, because it's already got the holes dug out and everything. So if we need to make upper cupboards next episode, just be a lot faster that way and save us a lot of work. But let's take this top piece, and this is what I wanted to show you. We'll go into edit mode, and we've got two choices how we want to do this. I wouldn't round the sides or the back, because they're going to connect to either a flat wall or the other side of a piece, which is also flat. So this is really the only option you have to do something with. So if you wanted to add a bevel here with Control B in edit mode with tab, you could. If you wanted to add a double bevel, you could. Just try not to grab the sides at all, because if you do, you're going to have a lot of problems. That looks pretty good. Maybe we want to go a little bit more. See if we can anyways. Control B. You know, whatever you're going to want for your look, but obviously it's peeling off the top of the cupboard, so maybe we just want to do the top one. You know, if you want to have a bit of a tapered edge or something. I think I'm going to leave it flat. I think it looks awful sharp. Maybe we'll do it marble or something like that. So I just wanted to show you that before I attached it. Maybe you want to do yours a little different. I got a backup piece, so I can do it different later if I choose. I'm going to control join these pieces together. And then I'm going to grab this one, and then that, and control join that piece together. Okay, so should we do coloring on it? I don't think we need to, but we could. Okay, well, we'll move on to coloring the next episode. I think this is good for now. I think you guys get the idea. We've got a solid start and a solid cover. And we'll come back in part 2 and start doing more of a kitchen. Maybe we'll line it up. We'll put one of these with a sink in it. We'll do more cupboards and all that stuff. And then we'll start doing fridge, stove, microwave, kettle, hood range, dishwasher, those types of things. So make sure you thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and the faster you guys get on that, the faster I'll get to doing these videos. See how many people are using them and needing them. I'll do it that way. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.